if I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. If you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce, only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me, because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
The Me Too movement has made women almost impossible to work with, and now men are avoiding them at work altogether. Maybe you've heard of all the recent trend of people quiet quitting at work. This means doing the bare minimum to stay employed and doing nothing more than that. Quiet quitting is happening in massive numbers, and there are a ton of reasons for that. According to polls conducted at European organizations, one of the main reasons why men have been slowly quitting is because of women. These are anonymous polls that reveal how demotivated men are at work because they either have incompetent female bosses who have no idea how to run things, or their female colleagues are creating a toxic work culture full of drama. If you've ever worked in an office full of women, you know what these men are talking about. Thousands of men have had the experience of facing false accusations of sexual harassment in the workplace. These kinds of allegations can destroy a man's reputation and make them unemployable, and women don't face any kind of consequence for it. The courts will tell you that the women can be charged with a few minor felonies, but the truth is, women almost always get away with it. And even in those extremely rare cases that she doesn't, the amount of damage it causes her doesn't even come close to the destruction that can happen to a man. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to EXEQShunR, I definitely said that wrong, but he was responding to Mia Khalifa, saying, Mia, stop the cap. If a marriage certificate was just a piece of paper, the majority of y'all wouldn't pressure men into it. It's a contract that y'all get rewarded for breaking. I don't even have to explain this. Solid comment, man. Please, don't forget to reach out to us by email and claim your $5. As usual, guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a ton. Now, back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
This is exactly why men are walking away slowly and quietly. They aren't making a drama out of it because in this society, if a man says he's walking away because of women, the woke mafia would come down on him like a ton of bricks. He'd be canceled and the mob would be coming for him. Men know this, so they're quietly checking out and minding their own business. It's much safer that way. Why is it safer? Because men are afraid of losing their jobs, or worse. Research conducted a couple of years ago found that men are becoming far less willing to talk to their female coworkers in the workplace. According to the report, 20% of men avoid speaking to and interacting with female coworkers in private. 27% of men avoid one-on-one meetings with female coworkers. 21% of men said that they would be reluctant to hire women for a job that would require close interaction. And 19% of men would be reluctant to hire an attractive woman. The results show that men avoid women in the workplace after Me Too, and this is the exact opposite of what Me Too was supposed to do.
The Me Too movement took down hundreds of powerful men. 2 years later, some say it is costing women opportunities and causing segregation in some workplaces. Larry Seward breaks it down.
The year Spacey, Weinstein, Moonves, and Lauer went down, and hashtag MeToo rose in a tide that pushed 200 powerful men out jobs for sexually harassing women, UH business professor Dr. Leanne Atwater kept tabs and worried. Corporate America planned to cleanse cultures, listen to women violated, and take harassment complaints more serious. But
if you're lacking in integrity and you're kind of a sexist, then your answer to this is, okay, we'll just keep them out. And that'll solve the problem. We won't hire them, we won't include them, and then we don't have to worry about it.
So she ordered anonymous online surveys. 300 men, 300 women asked how Me Too changed their workplaces. Results published in Harvard Business Review say nearly a third of those men avoid one-on-one meetings with women, more than 20% reluctant to hire any woman for jobs that require travel or close interaction. Another 19% say they avoid hiring attractive women. On the review blog, one manager added, "Unfortunately, in my estimation, getting too close to women at work puts your career and reputation at risk."
Women accused men, so they quietly started walking away. Then women started attacking men for that too. Men can't win in this society. According to women, if we stay, we're sexual predators. If we leave and do our own thing, we're crybabies. Look at what this article from The Guardian had to say about it. A lot of men aren't so much afraid of being accused of anything as they are angry that hashtag MeToo ever happened. They're angry that they've been made to think about their behavior, made to interrogate power dynamics they always took for granted, and they are punishing women for it by refusing to interact with them. The level of projection in this paragraph is astounding. Ladies, we don't think like this. We don't think, this annoys us, let's ignore women to annoy them. This is not how men think. This is how women think. Passive aggression isn't a tool we like to use as much as you do. This paragraph tells me that this is exactly what this woman would do in this situation. If this shoe was on the other foot, she would punish men by refusing to interact with them. These are the words of a woman who doesn't understand men. The truth is, it's the safest and most rational thing to do to avoid women at work. Anyone who cared about men and took the time to look into the reasons why men are quiet quitting would realize that. A third or more of the men in the study stated that they would be terrified to be alone with a woman. Why? Because they don't want to be in a situation where they're framed for any sort of allegations against them. They don't want to lose their jobs or be labeled a predator. One email, call, or conversation away with HR and you're done. Men will always be guilty in the eyes of corporate authority until they can prove their innocence. And it isn't just happening in the corporate world. Even celebrities are falling prey to allegations made 20 years later by a broke woman. Vin Diesel is the next man on the chopping block for an alleged assault that happened nearly 14 years ago.
Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is being sued for alleged sexual battery by a former assistant. Asa Jonasson filing the lawsuit in LA County Superior Court today. It alleges that Diesel forced himself on her in his hotel suite. It allegedly happened back in 2010 while she worked for him during the filming of Fast 5 in Atlanta. Jonasson claims the actor groped her and pinned her against a wall before pleasuring himself, all while she allegedly refused. The suit claims hours after the incident, Jonasson was fired. We reached out to Diesel's reps, but they did not give us an official comment.
What I find interesting is that these women never go through the legal system. Even though their trauma is so severe, they always sue the guy for a cash settlement. That should tell you everything you need to know. It's gotten far too easy for a woman to accuse a man and get away with it. She knows at the very least she'll get some fame and notoriety for it. She banged Vin Diesel back in the day, and now she's broke. She wants to make some cash. And she's willing to drag Vin Diesel through the mud. This trend is getting out of hand. The reality is that men would rather work more freely with other men. They prefer to work with other males rather than women because they can share information, talk about ideas, and organize their schedules together. They can relax and let their guard down. They can shoot the shit and not have to worry about offending or getting slapped with an allegation.
So a paper came out recently that looked at the impact of the Me Too movement on academia, and it actually shows that post-Me Too, women's productivity fell largely due to fewer collaborations with male researchers. The paper shows that this drop is most pronounced at universities where the perceived risk of sexual harassment accusations is highest. So the actual findings comparing research before and after the movement are right here, and as you can see, after the Me Too movement, collaborations with male researchers inside the same institution fell to close to zero. The author points out that men feel like if they accidentally say the wrong thing, they could be canceled or fired. She also notes that institutions that have clear policies on sexual harassment help reduce this perceived risk. And this isn't just in academia. The paper also cites a 2018 study which showed that 60% of male managers are uncomfortable participating in common activities with women due to the same concerns. And a curious finding of the study was that men make up for the loss in this collaboration by just collaborating more with other men, whereas women don't make up for it at all. The author concludes her findings by saying that Me Too was important for raising awareness, but it's also increasingly important for institutions to have really clear sexual harassment guidelines.
One effect of the Me Too movement is that men aren't collaborating with women as much anymore. This is causing a reduction in workplace productivity. As a society, this kind of nonsense is what's causing the slow destruction of society. We aren't a society of men and women working together in a complementary way for the good of everyone anymore. We're slowly being driven apart by feminism. It's gotten so bad that men are rightfully afraid to talk to women anymore. In the end, this will prove the feminists wrong. Men will want to only work with other men, and productivity will increase when this happens. And modern women will hate it. They'll go on social media to complain about it. And women hate the fact that men work better together. They blame men as if it's their fault and something they need to change. But it's not the fault of men. Men just don't want to lose everything they've worked so hard for. Who can blame them? The truth is, from the perspective of a woman, anything could be harassment. If a manager asks a woman to stay late at the office, she can fabricate a story about how he was trying to harass her. Especially if there's CCTV footage of them working closely together. And you know what? HR would believe the woman. It makes sense that men would want to avoid being alone with women to avoid losing their entire careers. And women are mad about this. Why? Because they feel left out. And they brought it on themselves. You can't blame people if they would prefer to ask men to stay late and work. It's just less risky. And you can't blame men for wanting to stay away from the drama and gossip that women bring to office spaces. The truth is, a harassment allegation is treated very differently if the victim is male. It isn't taken anywhere near as seriously. In some cases, the man is still punished more than the woman. Look at this insane story on Reddit. Earlier this year, I had the displeasure of dealing with a female coworker harassing a male coworker. A male subordinate comes to me to report the female subordinate. She decided that she wanted his opinion on fellatio techniques. She asked him because he's openly gay. I went with him to HR to report. HR calls everyone involved to get their side. At this point, the female employee realizes the male employee snitched and begins bad-mouthing him. HR hands down punishment based on zero tolerance policy. 3 days unpaid suspension for the male victim, but only 1 day unpaid suspension to the female employee because she's pregnant and we can't cause too many problems. The male employee came back from suspension with legal representation. The female employee came back and all the male employees avoided her and any situation where they would need to be alone with a female employee. A man goes to HR with a harassment complaint. He gets punished because the company doesn't want to cause too many problems. Me Too has crippled the workplace. Women's feelings were prioritized over productivity and innovation. And this is what we're dealing with. The truth is, as long as women continue to make baseless accusations and attempt to ruin the careers of men for no reason, men will refuse to work alongside women. As long as the workplace becomes a place of gossip and drama, men will avoid working closely with women. And you can't blame men for it, ladies. But that's exactly what they're doing. For some reason, women are angry at men because they're avoiding them. I've said this before on the channel, and I'll keep saying it. Women need the validation, attention, and approval of men or they'll fall to pieces. The fact is, they don't realize that for a man, his work is everything. It feeds his family and keeps his house running. Taking away his livelihood with baseless accusations that could get him fired, that's close enough to killing him. This is one of the reasons why remote work is a blessing to men. Men have realized that the office politics, the gossip, and the accusations aren't worth it. If you have a female boss who hates men, she'll make your life a living hell. A friend of mine had an experience of being the scapegoat for his feminist boss. She made him stay late. She gave him all the difficult tasks. She even let the women in the office talk by the water cooler while making him work his ass off every second of the day. Being able to earn your money from your laptop without having to interact with anyone you need to is a blessing for men. This is freedom. This toxic feminist society has left men with few other options. Men are in a tough spot. If you speak up about this as a man, you're called a whiner or an incel. That's because society doesn't care about men. The best thing to do is what so many men have decided to do already. Men are walking away and refusing to comply with the madness. They aren't approaching women at work and giving them a chance to accuse you of anything. Even if a woman is showing you signs of interest at work, it isn't worth it. Just walk away and stay safe. Instead, focus on building strong relationships with your bros and your family. Go hiking, camping, fishing, or hunting together. When they realize how much they need us to change the tire, move the couch, or fix something at home, maybe then they'll start to come around. We've tried to help them think clearly, but it seems like no matter how much data we throw at them or how many compelling arguments we make, they just don't care about men's issues. Suicide rates or the struggles of family court don't matter to the toxic feminist society we're currently living in. The best course of action might just be to stop complying altogether. Don't lift a finger to help them out. Of course, that's easier said than done. It's time to protect yourselves from any potential accusations in the workplace. No more one-on-one convos with female coworkers, not even online. And if you show up to a meeting and there's only one other woman there, back out and take a coffee break until more people arrive. If she's your subordinate, bring a coworker along. And if she's your boss and you can't bring anyone else, make sure to record the meeting, just in case anything comes up. And if she starts talking about non-work related topics, make sure you've got a witness. And as far as office romance, forget about it. You've got to wait until one of you switches companies. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.